Going to design this real estate website, and it's already live on the GitHub that I uploaded just right now, and it's the desktop version that's on my system, and this is on the GitHub. So it's a kind of simple, clean, and elegant website. This has a kind of logo, kind of navigation bar, and some icons. Those and It's a banner, then a search bar where one can search for the things, and here are some images like topics. They have a rate button to know more, some details, and then a kind of elegant and clean footer. Then here is the icon. Then when I click on this, the website goes to the top. So let's do this. And also I'm using these images from the Unsplash, fonts from the Google fonts, and what else, fonts from the font icons from the font awesome. So here are the fonts that I have selected: Playfair Display, Video Look, and all those kind of fonts. And let's start making it. So I will come to the desktop. I already have the folder where I have the images, and I have font awesome inside the CSS folder. So we need to create those HTML and CSS files. Now I will just delete everything that is here. Let's create a new file for HTML, save this inside that folder which is on the desktop, and call this index.html. Create one more file and save it as style.css inside CSS folder. Style.css. I am rushing, but you do not have to rush. You have to make sense. You have to understand. I've just pressed shift 1 or shift 1 exclamation mark, and that created the bare bones for me. You have to install the extensions from here and just type the HTML, and it will suggest you everything that it has. And now I typed a link, and I'm linking the CSS file that is inside my CSS folder, and the name of this file is style.css. We need to link that font awesome file as well, so that is inside CSS folder. Then we have far, then we have CSS folder. Then I will use all.min.css because this is compressed file. That is the only reason to use it. So first of all, I have to create header, and I'll give it a class of header. Inside the header we need three things, and the first thing is the logo. So I'm going to give it a ID of logo. So let's call that home. I will keep it all caps, home, find, or home finder, kind of this thing. Then we need uh, navigation links, and let's call them top, links, top links. Inside this we need some a tags. Let's call them nlinks, nlinks. And they should not go anywhere. href hash means they will not go to google.com and all those things. First of all, we have home, then we have buy, then we have sell. I assume I'm typing right because the website is going to be a bit longer, so we have to be a bit quick. I'll just buy, sell. I think then it is rent. Yes, then what is this? This thing should disappear. Okay, only this, and home, find. I'll make them capital with the help of the code, not instead of writing them here. I think it's a latest ads, and then one more thing, that is post ad. That's taken care of. Now we need to create those icons on the right side. So let's call them like top ICO icons, and we need to create this thing I class. Inside this we need to give a class of for dash user. I'm not making that up. I'm using this from the font awesome. If you come over here, you look, this is the search icon. So I will come down, and this is search, this is user. Let's see if this thing is working or not. I'll come back to the desktop, and here is my file. The icons are showing. Now we need to style them. We need to put them in the center as well. We need to make them clean. First of all, use this start to remove all the padding and margin that's given by the browser default. I mean, that doesn't make your website look good. So first of all, we have to create the body. We do not have to give any kind of width and class and ID to the body because CSS understands it. Width, how much? 100% or VW means view width. Do not worry about height. How about automatic? We do not have to worry about it. That's taken care of. Now we need to style the header. We have given it a class of header, so we are using it. It needs a width as well. How much? Maybe 80% should make sense. And a height of, how about 120 pixels? Yes, that's making sense. Now what else we need? Height, I have typed that wrongly. it should be like this, 120 pixels. What else does it need? Now the things should be in the center, so we use margin 2% at top. It could be anything. Again, I'm doing it wrong. 2% and automatic to put the thing in the center of the screen like this. Now we need to align or throw them away as well. So we will use this magic called flex box and justify content space between. You can use any of these things, I mean whatever suits your current needs. We need to put them in the center as well of the header. So what we use, align items in the center, that will put things in the center of that 120 pixel kind of. So let's make, because it has got a margin at top as well, so that is throwing things away. So we could reduce that margin, maybe make it 1% or maybe 0%. Now you will see there is a difference. Now we need to style those links, and they have a class of nlinks, nlinks, yes. And first of all we need to remove that underline. That how we do that with the text decoration, call that none, and that will be gone. If I reload it now, that is gone. We need to give them some spacing as well, so padding of around 24 pixels should make sense. Yes, that's making some sense. And now we want to change their color. How we change? We use color, and we want to make them black. We could just write black here as well. So if I come back now, there is some change. Now we want to make them capitalized. So how we do that? We do text transform uppercase. They might look large. We need to reduce the font. How we do that? That is font size, and how much should be okay. 0.8 mz. You could write 16 pixels, 14 pixels, and all those things. Now we need to use some kind of font as well on the header. But first of all, let's style those icons as well. What is the name of those icons over here? They are named top icons and TOPICON icons. Then we have I elements inside them, and what we need to give them, we need to give them some padding to the left. How much? Maybe 20 pixels. Let's see if that works or not. That's kind of working. And we will change the font as well. First of all, we need to, I mean when you go to the Google Fonts, just look for the font that you like, just click on this plus icon and they will be selected. Now I'm selecting import. This way this is taken to the CSS file directly. If I click on standard, then I'll have to put this thing underneath the CSS links and then use, but I'll be using it like the smart way in the CSS file. That's kind of short work. So you put this over here, the fonts are imported. Now all you have to do is you have to use them. So what is the font that we want to put on the header part? So we are going to use this display fair. So where is the header? Just put this header font family, and the font should be changed. Has it got changed or not? I think it is. Yes, you look at this, this is kind of looking elegant. Now this part is done. Now we need to import that. Now we need to create the header, oh no, the banner. So we have to create main and give it a class of main. Inside the main, first of all, we, the sound source had gone far away from me, sorry for that. First of all, we have to create a section, secti1 section, and call this top. Yes, now inside this, first of all, we need an image and give it a class of banner. Where is this image banner? It's inside the this img folder, and the name is this. Always use this alt tag. Okay, this is very important. And now this thing is taken care of, top section. And let me come back, and the image, where is this? I'm uploading that. And we need to, I think the image is smaller, so I will do one thing. First of all, I need to style main. Its width should be 100% because we want to keep things to the extremes, and its height should be automatic. We do not want to take care of things here. And margin also. How about, why are you doing this? Okay, and when I want to put something different, you have to. And how about 2% at top and auto on the left and right? That will put things in the dead center. But this image, this banner, I will do one thing. Its width I will make 100% or 100 VW. It should expand now. I mean the image was smaller, so we are using a kind of hack. Do we like this kind of small space above? We are just throwing it down. Okay, now What are the things that I need to create? The banner is done. If I come back to the website now, let me see what does it have. It has those. First of all, we need to create a kind of divider. So inside the main only, I will create a h2 and give it an ID of divid, a divider, and call this top pick topics. That's making sense, and I have to style it now. So that is divid, a divider. Guys, try to make sense. Do not just try to complete the video. Okay, first we have put text in the center, so that is text line in the center, and what does it needs some margin in the bottom as well, because we want to throw some space. How about 4%? Now if you come back and reload, we might need to change the font as well. It does need margin at the top as well. Margin at the top for what, 4% or 6% or 8%, that whatever looks good. That's making some sense. Now how about changing the font of the whole main? So we are going to put this Roboto font and put this inside the main. Whole body other than header will get this font, because this font looks kind of nice. And now we need to create one thing, then we will create many things. Underneath this we have to create that kind of shop where we have those things are going on. I mean, let's create a section, cti1 section, and give it a class of shop. And why does that even happen? secti1 section, and give it a class of shop. Now inside this, let's create first one, and let's call that maybe, how about box? Yes, just a box, an ID with a box. Okay, inside this, what are the things I need? First, it's an image, and image source is img / let's pick the h1, and alt is home. What else does it need? It needs an h3 maybe. Let's give it a home name. It could be location, I think. loc8 location, and let's call that, I'm putting some locations from US in, so let's put Tracy. I think this is a city in California, or we could put anyone. And what, now I need some details, a p tag, and let's put some lorem ipsum of hardly 18 words. Just you have to put those extensions in your VS Code. I'm using VS Code. This is the best editor. Now we need to put that price as well. So let's use H5, the smaller one, pric price. Have I used it already? I think no. So let's call this maybe 100,000 K to 250K. Okay, and now we need to create the button and give it a class of click. And what we need to do now, no more, now more. Okay, I think this is done. Now we need to style this. What is the name of this thing? Box. I mean, first we should look at the things how they are looking. They will be looking very ugly. You see, I mean, things are not styled. So how about giving a width of 300 pixels? That's kind of working. And now we need to give this box, whatever image it has, should have a margin at the bottom. How about 4%? That's okay. And whatever what is that, h3, it has, should have a margin at the bottom. I think I have given them IDs as well and classes, but I'm not using them. Why should I? And then the text too needs margin at the bottom. So dot box p, and whatever element is p inside this should have a margin at the bottom of around 4%. That's making sense. Now with the, I will style this button now, and that is click, and give it a margin at the top. we have to use all the smart things, okay, but sometimes one thing works, sometimes other thing work. Now that element got the space. Now we need to give it some width. How about 120 pixels? It should have a width. How about, no, should have a height of around 36 pixels. We may reduce that. And what else? Does it need a border? Yes. No, we are giving a color, a background color of kind of green, but not this kind of green. We are going to give it a kind of subtle green. Yes. And what kind of color the text should have inside this button? It should be white. I could just write white, and it should have some padding as well. How about 4 pixels? And what else? Does it need border? Border should be none. If I come back now, things will be looking different, and the font size should be a bit larger. Font size, how much should be? Okay, 1.2 ems. You could write 16 pixels, 12 pixels, 18 pixels. That is looking pretty big. I'll put 0.9 ems. I think 1 em was fine. This is looking fine. Okay, now the button is very small. How about making it 160 pixels? Okay, and now I will do one thing. This box needs to be duplicated 2 3 4. And where is this box? If I load it now, the images are like displayed like this. We don't like that, we don't want that. So these images are inside shop need to be flexed. Where is, have we styled the shop yet? No. shop shop display flex and justify content, or I could use that display grid as well. Why not? Display grid template columns. How about repeat use this function? How many times we want to repeat it? 4 times with the 1% each. I mean, all those things should take this much space, and why they are not centered? Why these things are not centered? um, these things are not getting centered, and if I use flex, will they be centered? Display flex justify content space between. That has thrown them away. How about giving the shop some padding? No, I think this thing has kind of width over here, which is too much. How about 280 pixels? That didn't work. I mean, I can use the padding now on this shop, and padding, will that make sense? uh, uh, Padding on the left, how about 4%? But that will not be a great idea, but let's leave with that now, and do this on the right as well. I think this was, I'm trying to adjust images which are taking more space. I think I should use maybe 3 images at the top. How about that? Will that work if I use 3 images at the top? And but this is working. Okay, I mean, something is working, we should not be worried about it. And where is this shop now? Just duplicate it one more time, and there are the things now. These things, box, where is this box? It needs margin at the bottom. How about 6%, so they are not touching each other? That's taken care of. Now we need to change the image names as well. They are looking just one image. I mean, I'm doing something which needs hacks, which needs some tricky things, and That's it. I mean, you have to find the best solution that works for you. You do not have to know everything. You just have to look for a kind of smart hack. And okay, this thing is not working. I'm going to use some good or bad hacks, and this part is taken care of now. We have to create this search bar as well, and the footer. So first of all, let's create that search bar at the top. So where we are going to do that, we are going to do that in the main sections top area. And I think yes, okay, here I will do that. SER search, I'm creating a div with the idea of search. Inside this we need two things. That's one is an input should have a placeholder of what is this placeholder, any city name, let's call that San Jose. And okay, and what else it need, it doesn't need a class, but now we need a button. IES, I think we need a button, BUTTU and button, and give it a class of find. Yes, that makes sense. We could leave without that also. And what we need, uh, I think we have that, not the button, but we have the icon over here. If I come back to the website, the live website, it has just the icon. So I will use that icon. Have I used that icon already? Yes, I have. So I will just copy that instead of creating it again. Now what we need to style the search, and we should do it kind of here. Search, what does it need? It needs a width. How about making it large enough, 500 pixels? And it needs height. How about 50 pixels? That may be large. What else we need? We need a background. How about background of white? We need a padding. Not right now. What we need to put things in line. So display flex and justify content, space between. Now if I come back, things will look here and there, but we will use something to style that. And that's not looking large enough. Why? If you come over here, this is that San Jose and all those things. Where is this search has these two things. 500 pixels width has not worked. Why? Maybe I will use 700 pixels. Is that even working? Is that even getting the, okay, first of all, let me put at it this at, so I will use position. How about relative? And from the left I want to throw it 50% away, or maybe 40% or 20% away. That is kind of too much. How about, I think that has gone very large. Now I will throw it like 20% away from the left, or maybe 30%. I will take care of this very soon. And it has a background of white. And what else? Is it underneath this image? This should be above the image. Yes, I will take care of you, no problem. And what else we need? We need to put, okay, how about 80 pixels from the top? We have to give some negative values because we want to move it up. Yeah, and 80% is not working. How about 90 pixels? I'm using some hacks, guys. You have to use these kind of hacks. So things are not in the center. Why they are not? So we have to use our line items center. Let's see if that thing work now or not. That's working. Now this input inside the search, input, no, search, and whatever is input inside does not need a background should be none. Now you will see that thing disappearing. It doesn't need a border as well. We have to use smartness. Okay, that is gone as well. Now we want to make that font larger, that can be accessed normally, so you have to use double these things. Then placeholder, PLAC placeholder, then you give font font size of around, how about 1 em or maybe 1.2 em, still very small, maybe 1.4 ems. Yes, that's making sense. I think this should be around 600 pixels. Yes, and does it need a border? Radius, we want to make it kind of rounded. How about 6 pixels? Not too much, but a kind of subtle. Yes, I think it is too much. That's okay. Now, why this icon is not behaving like as we want? Does it need something? I think it doesn't need anything. So search whatever is button inside. I think we have given it a button, a class, something. No, it is not. So it is search whatever is in I inside the search that needs some sort of border. On what side? On the border on the left side. 1 pixel solid kind of. Let's use black, but black will be too visible here, so we'll use a kind of subtle one. Why that is not behaving as we want? We have to give it some padding. How much? About 8 pixels. I will be less. um, that's okay. I think about 12 pixels. That's okay. We want to reduce its opacity? That icon is looking very ugly. We use opacity, so how about 0, oh, not 0.7, it's 0.7. 0.7. If I look at it now, it has gone a bit down, but it's still too much. How about 5 or 4? Or it's still too much. I will use 4. Okay, and I will my okay, I think this thing is looking fine now. We can increase its height or its length and as we want. Okay, and I think this search does need padding on the left side. How about 4 pixels? Let's see. Yes, that has gone something, and these things are working now. All we need to do is create the footer. What is this? Is looking very large. What I have done is very small. Why I am doing this? I mean, why I am not doing this? Why I'm reluctant to do this? If I load it now, no, this is looking very small compared to that. How about 800? And its height should be increased. How about 70? Let's see. And now we want to put this in the center again, so maybe 20%. You have to use hacks. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't work. How about 100? Put it a bit above. Okay, and now this banner, this whole main thing, I think, where is the main thing? I hope the audio is coming well. Where is this main thing? Main, does it have a margin at the top? That's too much. I'll use 2% because that is throwing it away. Or maybe that's fine because we do not want to compress it. Is it okay? I think maybe I will increase it. Why not? We want to give some negative space. That's looking fine. And now all we do is create the footer. Footer is kind of complex, so we have to create a lot of things inside the footer. Main is done. The website is done to a lot of it. Create footer, give it a class of footer. Now inside the footer we have to create, let me show you what we have inside the footer. We have 3 sections, no, 2 sections, 1 and 2, and they again have 3 sections each. So let's create divs inside them. Let's call first one f1. Inside this, let's call line, a div of line, line 1. Sometimes when things don't make sense, just use this, and then we need a links, and we will use the links that we already have used, and this will be styled automatically. We do not have to style that again. So what are their names? Locations, CA TI locations. Duplicate this, developers, and one more time hot zones. Hot, I mean, you might be thinking, oh, I got it. No, I will be still using some things that will be very important to use. Now are we done? We need to create one more section, that is line 2. What does it need? It needs buy, sell and rent. So why don't we just copy these things and change the text? So come here and it's buy, it's sell, it's rent, rent. And what else we have? We have kind of one more area, and let's call that line, another div l, line 3. We will need to use flex one more time, so many times, to create those. What do we have inside this? We have inside this, let's call that, let's create a div with the sub, subscribe, just sub. Inside that we need two things. One is an input, and it should have a placeholder, PLAC, placeholder. Does it have a placeholder? Yes, it has. And what is the name of that? That is subscribe. And what else we have need? Then we need a button. Button. Oh no, not like that. Button. Give it a class of subtn and enter. I think that's taken care of now. Then we have one more part of the footer, but first of all let's style this. And the footer, what does it need? It needs a width, first of all. How much? 100%. Height, how about auto, because we have a lot of things going on here, so we have to. And let's put a border at the top. How about 1 pixel? Solid, kind of subtle color, not too much. Then we need padding also. This border should not be touching the things. How about 4%, or maybe 2% goes fine. Now we need to take care of F1. It needs display flags, yes, and justify content, space around. That is what we are going to use here. Now the things will look a bit ugly. You come down here. Why this footer is not showing up? Why these are not displaying like how we want? Why? Because we have to do one more thing, that is line 1 display flags. Flex direction should be column, and I think we have to do this with line 2 as well, line 3 as well. If I come back now, let's see if that worked or not. First worked, but others didn't work. Why? I don't know. I may need to style them individually. Okay, I will do this one more time with the line 2. But why I'm doing this? And then with the line 3. Line 2 has not got the things as we want. Line 2, has it got the right ID? LINE, line 2. I was wrong here, so that is the problem. Otherwise that thing could have worked. Now our input, this line 3, needs some style. So what is that? Now we need to access dot sub sub, and it needs a width of around 400 pixels. Why not? It needs a border of 1 pixel, solid, black will work here. And it needs padding. No, we will not give it padding because we are using a button inside this. And what we need, border is given, background should be, how about none, because that will be black by default. Now why this is going like that, we have to display this flex as well. Flex is, all round thing, evergreen thing that you can use just anywhere, and you can just take care of the things. Align items in the center as well. Align items in the center. And we have not given it any height. We want to give it a height as well. How much? Maybe 40 pixels. That will be less. It's okay. Now this thing inside serve, the input has a border. We want to remove that. So first of all, let's remove its background to be none, its border to be none as well. If I come back now, they will be gone. Why? It has got some, why it is touching that thing. So give it padding on the left side, just on the left side, because on the right side we will have the button. We do not want to give that padding. Now we need to style the button. Have we already styled the button? I think we have. So I think this is the click button. If I copy its styling, and what is the name of this button? It is SUBTN, and put the style over here. We will need to tweak it. What the problem is here, margin at the top, it doesn't need a margin at the top because this is inside the body. Has it got some padding or other things? But height, width is too much. We don't need that bigger button. Even that is large for us. How about 80 pixels? That's fine. And now we need to remove this padding. Maybe the padding is fine. Why? I think its height should match that of the parent. There is still some problem. Has it got some padding at the left, line items? And if I give it some padding to the button, how about 2 pixels? That has worked. That has worked, and we can change the color of button or this anything. And now we want to give this font family as well to the font underneath here. We do not want this kind of ugly font which is displaying here. So we are going to use Roboto again. Go over here, and inside the footer, I mean footer has got a lot of style because footer has got a lot of data. I mean, you guys might be getting frustrated, but guys, you have to make lovely things, clean things, and that's how web is these days. So F1 needs border at the bottom as well. Border bottom, just 1 pixel, solid, subtle, triple E. And is that working? That might be working, but we do not have any kind of padding or margin at the bottom, so there is a problem. We have to create one more thing in the footer, and that is F1. We have to create F2, and inside this we need 3 things. And the first thing is, let's come back over here. The first thing is those social icons. What is the name of those icons above here? That is top icons. I will just use that thing once again. So inside the F top icons, and inside this I need those I class again, and let's give it a class of fab for dash Instagram. No, not Instagram. INSTAGRAM, Instagram, fab for dash Instagram, and duplicate it once again and call that Twitter. I might be doing something wrong. That's not Facebook. I will just check them again, and WHATS WhatsApp, and let's see. And to be honest, I'm kind of in an area which is shit, man. I don't like this kind of area. People are like, okay, I should not talk about that. And this thing is done now. Let's create this, the copyright thing, and then the button to go to the top, and that is, let's create a P, call that copy, and COPY, copy, and this is like FIN defined home 2020. That's making sense. Now we need to create that thing which will take this to the top. So we have to go to the body. This is the thing that you have to learn. Put a, then name, and then maybe call this top, like this. Now come to the bottom. I'm doing it here, so a tag, yeah, a tag, href should be top, the ID that we just created. Then inside this I can have anything. I will just put an icon. So icon can be class far dash arrow is there an arrow up. Let me see if that work or not. If I come back here now, that has worked. Now we need to display that as flex as well. So what is the name of this thing? This thing is f2 dot f2, display it as flex, and justify content space between. Let's see, how's that working? That's working. And space between is not good here. Space around will work because we want some space on the right and left sides. We want this to have some padding at the top and bottom. So how about just padding at the top about 4%? Is that making sense? We need at the bottom as well. This is much. We will duplicate this and it should be BO bottom. And the website is ready. Kind of, you have all the things. If I click on this icon, the website goes to the top. It has a search icon. And do we want to reduce its opacity? What is the name of this thing? I think this thing is named search, and opacity maybe 0.7. and you see that kind of subtle feel. And these links are here. The website is ready. You can just copy this, you can duplicate this, or may put in your portfolio. We gave a kind of border to the footer, and I will do that again. I mean, we should make it kind of cleaner. Where is this footer? Footer, F-O-O-T-R, footer. It should have a border at the border, top 1 pixel, solid EEE. I think this may not be, it is not visible. And this border has, why can't I see this border? Maybe I'm just wasting your time by fiddling around with this border. I will write this line again instead of border at the top 1 pixel, solid EEE. Yes, that is here now. Now the website is done, guys. I mean, if you have any questions, do ask me. I'll be happy to solve those problems, and I'll be happy if you support me, and if you put some comments on all those things, I'll be happy to know. And what is the name of those buttons? Links. And if I hover on them, I want to change their color. So CLIC, click on hover, their color should change. Background color should make it orange, but not this kind of orange. I'll be using some kind of subtle orange. If I refresh it now, and you see that kind of thing happening. So yeah, hope it was helpful, and thank you for giving the time. Have a great day.